Okay, today is the vlog for June 25th, and my day started off pretty rough. Um, I went to bed early last night because I had it in my mind that this week was supposed to be partly cloudy and very nice all week. I had not looked at the forecast on my phone for a few days, mostly because it had been cloudy and rainy, and it ended up being, or rather, it was forecast to be cloudy and rainy, and then it had been cloudy and rainy until yesterday when it was pure sun, and I got my sunburn that still itches. But I thought it was going to cool off a little bit today, a little bit of clouds, and I'd get up in the morning, school's out, go walk, be nice. In fact, I thought it was going to be so nice that I left my windows rolled down last night in my car. So imagine my surprise when, an hour after I went to bed, I was woken up by thunder and then rain. And I closed my window to my room and forgot that I had left my windows open in my car. And I stayed up for about half an hour because the rain and the thunder were keeping me up. And then I was woken up again this morning by the sound of rain. And when I woke up at 5:20, that's when it occurred to me that my windows were down. And I threw on my bathrobe and my hat, and I went outside and I rolled up the windows of my car. And then I went back inside and tried to go back to sleep and found that that wasn't going to happen. So I've been up since 5:20, 5:30-ish. I laid back down for maybe 10 or 15 minutes before I actually got back up. Yeah. Probably going to go to bed pretty quick here. And see if second verse is the same as the first. I'm going to try and get up tomorrow morning and go for a walk. The forecast is for... Actually, let me just do this instead of trying to remember what it was. Okay. Cloudy. Breaking up in the evening tomorrow. So, guess I'm not doing a walk tomorrow morning. Oh well. And it's rain on Friday and Saturday. And rain on Monday. Wednesday's partly sunny, so 4th of July should be good. Is it 4th of July, a week from Wednesday? Yeah. Anyway, my day has been mostly humdrum. What I've accomplished today is played more Gundam Breaker, new Gundam Breaker, and I have basically given up. Doing the same bonus mission, DLC, event, quest, whatever you want to call it, to collect parts. It was getting old when I was finishing up for the night yesterday and getting up and doing it for another couple hours this morning. I'm slowly coming to the conclusion that this is not my game. This is not a game for me, and I don't think it's a game for a lot of people. Here's my chief problem. Aside from running poorly, which is definitely an issue, but even if they fix the frame rate up, that's not going to ruin the core problem. The core problem is a shift in what the designers wanted the game to be. Or probably more likely what the producers wanted the game to be. Gundam Breaker 3, you go into a mission. The mission has specific enemy types, but throughout the mission, you can be randomly attacked by a couple other kinds of enemies that may not be normal for that stage. Actually, I take it back. There's the regular mission, and then there's like the danger or unexpected version, and that's where things can be truly random. Although you're still informed what the random mobile suit showing up will be. So you can use that to farm the parts, and I say farming it is farming, grinding, whatever you want to call it. You can go into the mission and destroy enemy mobile suits and gather their parts, and if they're the parts that you were looking for to make the mobile suit that you wanted to make, that was the way that you did it. That, if I want to make the Gundam Red Astray, Red Frame Astray, but I want to change the frame to purple and make the outer armor black instead of white, I want either in... Anyway, I find a mission with Gundam Red Frame Astray. I do that mission until I have all the parts, or I have enough parts that I can buy the kit in the in-game store, which will give me one of each part included in that kit. And then I start to use the system that improves parts. I can take qualities, which are minor stat boosts that are found on other parts, and take those boosts and put them into the parts that I'm using. The actual optional equipment, which gives you special attacks and objects, items, whatever you want to call them in game, those are set on the parts. So the Red Frame Astray arms have a electric ball attack where they grab the enemy and create an electric ball and shoot the enemy away. And it looks an awful lot like the Shining Figure because it uses the same animation set as the Shining Figure. But it's great because it breaks guard. And if an enemy is guarding your attacks, that's a wonderful way to get it to get grounded, and then you can just start laying into it with your regular attacks. So, if I want those arms to have, the Psycho Frame system from the new Gundam or the Gundam Unicorn, I take one of those parts that I don't need, maybe it's low level and I don't want to increase the level, and I combine it with the Red Frame Astray arms, and now the Red Frame Astray arms have the bonus of the Psycho Frame. If I want them to have GN armor from Gundam 00 Gundams, I can fold that ability in. They still have the Energy Ball Palm attack, but now they have some additional stat bonuses that are going to be useful to me. That was the system. And it was grindy because every time you wanted to take one of those things and put it on a new part, you were sacrificing the part to put it on the new part, so you needed spares, which led to doing missions over and over again, not just to, get the parts to make the kit look the way you wanted and have the abilities that you wanted, but also have the performance that you wanted. And that's sort of fine. That was sort of the game that we signed up for. It had an element of model building, which is what this game and what this hobby is all about. It's about building models and customizing those models to be what you want them to be your vision of what your mobile suit would be if you were playing a Gundam game in the Gundam Build universe. So, taking that into mind, the new system of collecting a small number of parts, putting them into a box, but also losing the parts as you take damage and then replacing them with parts on the ground. Not only does the new system not have any sort of part leveling mechanic that I've been able to find, not only do each part has a specific EX skill now, instead of either having no optional equipment or having fixed optional equipment. So if I want to use that energy palm attack, I have to use the Gundam Red Frame Astray arms. I imagine the Gundam Red Frame Astray arms probably do the same thing still, but I haven't gotten any pieces of that mobile suit yet. The fact that I can't transfer anything, and even though I only now have to collect one part because there's only the one part, and each part has its own stats now, so instead of building the part stats to the level that I want it to be, I'm going to, and keeping the aesthetic of the original part that I want the look of, I'm now picking parts based purely off of their performance, which means that I'm going to end up with kits that probably don't look the way I want them to look, and probably don't always have the equipment that I want them to have, and that's frustrating. It makes me far less interested in trying to collect all of these pieces, and it would be very strange if more systems were gated behind the content that I haven't done yet. But the story is also just eye-rolling. I mean, it really is just a light novel dating sim style story, but with Gundam window dressing. And, I think I can't speak for everybody that plays these games, but I wanted Gunpla. And I wanted a game about Gunpla and how I could make Gunpla the way I wanted to make Gunpla, not who this cute girl is and how to get her to be on my squad. Maybe that matters to other people. But there are already games for that kind of thing. This is a game about building model kits the way you want to build them and fighting them against other people's model kits and having fun doing that. That's what the anime is about. That's what 3 seasons of the anime is about. That's been what all the previous Gundam Breaker games have been about. And this new Gundam Breaker is too much about breaking and not enough about enjoying a hobby. So, yeah, I'm going to keep my ear to the ground. My buddy will probably let me know if they patch out some of the lag or maybe change the way some features work, which would be nice. But that seems unlikely. I think what's going to happen is they're going to realize that this game is not what people wanted, especially when the DLC doesn't get bought. That's probably going to be a big thing. If people aren't buying the DLC, that's probably going to be a big red warning light saying, this isn't what people wanted. And if they had implemented some of the features of this game, like the rival teams competing for quests, the quests just come way too fast and they overlap with one another. So you're breaking 10 crates open because that's important for some reason. It levels your inner frame up. And then suddenly there are a whole bunch of neutral Zaku units that you have to beat up. But before you're even done beating the Zaku units, now there are Gelgoog units, and you need to collect one of the pieces of the Gelgoog unit and bring them back to your box. But you don't want to bring the Gelgoog unit pieces back to your box because you are actually in that mission to get some other kind of piece, and it's chaos. They really have to tone down. And honestly, if they tone down the numbers that are appearing and the quests that are happening all at the same time, and fighting your rivals is utterly pointless. You don't get anything. You don't gain a better chance of winning by beating them because they respawn too quickly, and they're trying to complete the same quests you are. It's just a mess. If they had implemented this new part system but kept the same basic gameplay of the old Gundam Breaker games, that would have been easier to swallow. If they kept the old part collection rules with this new format and slowed down the numbers of enemies to ease the frame rate and be able to keep track of everything together, that would have been one thing. But they've put too many new things in New Gundam Breaker at the same time, and it has soured the pot. That's my official review of the game. What's very ironic is that there's a new episode of Gundam Build Divers tomorrow morning, which is going to be how I'm going to enjoy Gundam for the next couple of months. Oh well, it's only $60. I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.